Hello.
Hi, good morning,
Morning.
or not,
Afternoon.
or good evening.
Good.
It is morning. And it's Monday, which is
Uh,
super fun. Is that a Pioneer Woman mug?
it is.
Oh, I love their stuff.
I got like a set for Christmas, like the plates, and
Mhm.
then like I've just like gone insane. So
Yeah.
like I saw the plates and they were like, oh my God, it was like the hardest thing to find. Brandon found like one like that must have been returned on Walmart. Like,
Mhm.
and then now they have them everywhere at our Walmart in Edson. But like I bought extra plates, I got cups, I have pans, I have like little sauce dishes, I have like
You went nuts.
I did I
You
did but
have
I
to
like
go. The Walmart in Hinton has quite a bit.
yes, yes, that's where I did get some extra ones after
Mhm.
first set. And then where else was I? In like Drayton Valley they had a bunch too.
Yeah. My mom and I were just in Hinton and we stopped in at the Walmart and they had like a Pioneer Woman Dutch oven, like the
Yeah.
little like, but it's like those old school like pots that are not, they're not like ceramic. It's like that tin almost.
Like, yeah, they
Yeah.
had here too, and I saw it, and do you know what, I just don't know what to do with it, so I didn't buy that because I'm like, well, what do I cook in that?
Like a casserole.
But like then I have casserole pans that I
Get
bought
rid
from
of those.
no, I just bought them, they're Pioneer Woman.
Oh, you could do
I
like,
don't even
I think you
those
can do stew and stuff too.
in
A Dutch oven.
okay, I should just look up recipes. Okay, I'll just go buy
Yeah.
one too.
I
You
think
talk
it's like slow cooking or like similar.
oh okay,
Like you could do a roast.
like a roasting pan almost like
Yeah,
that.
you could do a roast. Like I think anything you could do in a crock pot, you could
Okay,
do in a Dutch oven.
okay, hmm.
Hmm.
Okay, good to know. I'll go buy one.
So now, if everyone doesn't know what we're talking about, I'm sure you do. Pioneer Woman is just like the brand. There's a magazine too.
There's the magazine. She's got
Hmm.
clothes. She's got like everything. She's
Hmm.
the chef
Yeah,
with a
it's
TV show.
it's just neat, and like I find the colors are so interesting, and just the
The pattern.
floral. I love it.
Yeah.
So we're back today with controversial topics part two. Because there's so many, and then there were so many outside of the list that we had originally put out. So we
Yeah.
figured it's only fair that we come back and finish it up for everyone.
Because we talked so much we couldn't get through it all. Basically what it was.
This is not new. This is something that happens.
It's called in-depth conversations.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
It's yes. And just, I mean, we have great chemistry, so
We've heard that.
yeah. We've been told. So yeah, we like to talk to each other. Is that so bad?
I think so.
um, now that everyone's jealous of our relationship as well. I'm in a funny mood today, actually. It like definitely feels like a Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's raining.
That I think that's what's throwing it off too.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
it kind
oh
of, we
not
haven't
having no.
rain, so it's kind of like it's weird.
Well, and the rain we have had has been like super brief.
Yeah.
So it's been raining since like yesterday.
Yeah, and it's supposed to rain like all night too.
Yeah.
Like, what do
Uh,
we?
I know. Do I wear my rubber boots? Like, I don't really.
I haven't worn my rubber boots like all summer, and usually I have to.
Same.
And I like wearing rubber boots.
I do too. Okay. So, why don't we start with public feeding? So, We asked everyone what they thought. So I think this was kind of transitional off of breastfeeding and bottle feeding topic. So
Okay.
it just kind of came up as another comment from a listener. So what about public feeding? So just meaning breastfeeding in public. I don't think that would encompass like bottle feeding in public. This is just
Yeah, I think
breastfeeding.
yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, like to me, giver, I don't know. Like I think it's more other people that are like uncomfortable with it. Like as a new mom, you do get a little bit uncomfortable and you try like covering up and like trying to be like respectful. But then
Mhm.
honestly, like that's harder than just like whipping it out. And like if you're gonna look, then that's up to you. Like I don't
Yeah.
care. I got
I
tried covering up and like it makes baby hot. It's uncomfortable. It's weird. That for me, anyways, it was like it was harder to like keep having that over than to
mhm.
just pull it out and like even like hold a cloth up or something like position baby. But I don't know. Like it's so like it should be just normal. Like it's
Mhm.
been for like how many years? Like thousands of years. Like that is how you feed a child.
It just is how you feed a child. So like I
It is.
think I don't know, I think that with like obviously evolution, we've created like public spaces. So like oh maybe something that's so natural that would just like happen anywhere anytime. Obviously we didn't exist or like us
Yeah.
personally, we weren't there. So I like I don't know I don't know where we failed as a society, like to look at it and be like, ooh, that should be like not in public.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So when we asked the crowd, we had 73% with no problem, and then 27% preferred privacy. But that doesn't mean that those 27% dislike public feeding
No.
when other people do it. It just means they personally would rather just be in private because obviously they may have had an experience where someone made them feel cringy for like
Yeah.
feeding in public. Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. Like sometimes like I would rather feed in public if you or in public.
I'm sure you would.
Whip them out. uh, no, in private because like it is more it's more comfortable for you and for baby. You can take your time. And
Mhm.
in public you almost feel more rushed and like are people looking? But like I think I got past that. Like I don't care. But like some people like it is calmer, it's quieter, it's more it's nicer in public.
Mhm.
Mm. There's a lot of like places in like malls and stuff now that actually do have like those feeding spots, feeding or nurturing stations for even just to like go warm up a bottle for baby. Like have you ever like tried to feed a baby in public? They're like, where am I? Like, where am I? Like
Oh
they
yeah.
not want to eat. Like so having a nice space like that, nice.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I personally obviously don't have an opinion because I haven't experienced it.
Yeah.
Um yet. I think it's interesting though because for the last like year and a half with COVID, it's like there hasn't been so many public outings and I'm assuming a lot of like new moms missed out on like the experience of public feeding.
Yeah.
So that's also kind of crazy to me. Like when I think about that, I'm like, man, there wouldn't have even been like an opportunity, nor would they have probably wanted to, just for safety's sake, like to be
Mhm.
hanging out somewhere to feed.
Yeah.
Um, or at least the number was significantly lower of like people public feeding because of just the situation. But yeah, I don't have an opinion for myself and my preference, but I definitely don't care.
Yeah.
like like I don't like see it and go, ooh, like get a room. Like that's a weird reaction, I think, to something supernatural. So
If you have a story, I would love to hear it if someone like actually approached you. Like I never got approached like feeding. Like it's like
mhm.
it makes people uncomfortable and they're like trying to like avert their eyes, I feel more so than like,
Yeah.
I'm not looking at you. Like,
Hmm.
but I would love to hear if someone like actually approached you like and like what they said and what you did. Like I
And
never had.
no, I don't even think I've ever witnessed that, but I feel like it
No.
would have happened. That
Yeah.
seems like something that would happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can see like definitely in like bigger like city centers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
Crazy.
it'd be hard as a new mom too to handle that.
I don't
Like
even know how you would respond respectfully.
no,
You're like,
like
okay. Let me just finish up.
yeah. Sorry, I inconvenienced you.
Yeah, I'm just like in the middle of this. Just one sec.
Yeah.
Like, what am I gonna do? Like, end abruptly? Like, you're in the mid. Like, just be like very weird.
You're literally like if you're breastfeeding, like baby, if they are second, they will like literally like just like pull. So
Yeah,
no, just ending it.
it's like, okay, just hold my baby then, please.
Yeah. You feed it.
While they scream. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's good. I hope it's going like back in the other direction where it's just kind of like not going to be taboo, because I think for a little while it was slightly.
I think so too. I wonder like when that all started. Is that more when like breast or bottle feeding became more commonly used? I wonder if there was like a connection.
Yeah, like when did breastfeeding in public become like yucky?
Yeah.
Unless we have it kind of backwards, and potentially it was always breastfeeding in private, and then women started to say like, no, I'm going to go and breastfeed wherever I choose. And then it's just transforming to get rid of like the stigma generationally, right?
I'm curious.
Because I think, like, not to say that there aren't modest women today, it's just that modesty was something that was a little bit more highly regarded then. So even similar, like, I might wear an outfit and my entire bump is showing, where, even 50 years ago, a smock would have been preferred to not show a baby bump. So
Yeah.
I think maybe modesty just has a lot to do with it. And again, not to say that women today are not modest or are nasty, like just solely like, what's that called, society, like what's acceptable today.
Yeah. And I think
Right.
like women up for themselves and like for their children
Mhm.
more. No, this is natural. I'm feeding
Yeah.
my child. It's not sexual. It's not anything like that. Like I'm not doing anything wrong.
No. And I think maybe women back then also knew that, but they weren't given the
Was
same.
acceptable.
Yeah, and they didn't have the same rights that we do.
No,
They just didn't. So
yeah.
I think maybe that's what it is. I don't think maybe it was good at one point, got yucky, and now is good again. I think maybe it just kind of was never necessarily acceptable, and we're making it acceptable. Yeah.
Let's keep we're doing good.
Yeah. Keep that up. Let's just keep
Most
everything normal.
are pretty good with it.
Yeah. Okay. So the next topic. This one is so tough for everybody. I think everyone has their own opinions. Obviously, like everyone has experiences with this too. That's like either for themselves personally or with their children. So the
Okay.
next controversial parenting topic that came up from a listener was vaccines. So just if we would talk about vaccines. So the poll was, vaccines are a choice that you make, or doctor says so I do it.
Okay.
So it's kind of like you do it because just medically it's the right thing to do, or you yourself, you get to evaluate, yes, no, maybe this one, maybe not this one.
Yeah.
It was very close. So 47% choice, 53% like medically do it. Yeah. There's lots of levels, because it's like you could be completely against vaccinating. You can be somewhere where you're okay with some, maybe you research your own information, you choose to do some, Others you're like, it's eradicated. Why would I do that? I mean, like and then, or you're just like, yeah, I'll take them all. They've never hurt me. So,
Yeah.
right. What do you think?
Well, with Abby, I almost went like the doctor. I don't want to say the doctor told me so. So I did it. I just think it was the right thing to do for us. Like, again, I have any issues, I have them all. I've always had to be up to date. And she's a healthy baby too. Like she was a healthy baby. I've known friends that they went I'm going to like pick and choose which ones they did, because like some that are older and they know for sure, like they've seen the outcomes like long term. The other ones are a little newer, so they wanted to wait for those. So I've kind of experienced, I don't want to say experience both, because like I didn't make that choice, but I've been with friends who have made that choice, and I see their kids that are healthy and happy as well. So I think it's tough, and I think especially as a new parent, when you're in a blur almost, to make those decisions sometimes could be really hard. But for me, I had them all. So Abby had them all, and we didn't have any issues. And same with Brandon, like he was fine with it. And I think that's something you have to talk with your spouse about as well. You guys are both okay with all of those things. Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough to say. Like, I haven't had to vaccinate a child, so like I don't really know. I have friends who kind of are a little bit of both. Like, I have friends who pick and choose which ones they're okay with, and then I have friends who just get all of them. I think like because I wasn't born in Canada, I have like different vaccines, and then I'm missing some that were like popular here. So like a big example is like chickenpox. So I never had that vaccine. And like the smallpox and what's it?
I think smallpox is different than chickenpox vaccine. They have chickenpox vaccine now, but they didn't when we were kids.
Yeah. So I got measles. I had MMR done, like measles, mumps, rubella, but I never had chickenpox. And when I was a kid, I think my brother had like a really mild case. My little brother, he was born in Canada. He got chickenpox like at school. They were really mild. And then myself and my older brother never got them from him. But he was like in the house with us playing. So we just didn't like get it. So I think like through other vaccines that we have, we were just had some immunity to it.
Yeah.
So today I'm like, okay, as an adult, I've never had it. My parents haven't had it. My brothers and sisters, well, I don't have sisters. My brothers, all my brothers and sisters out there. No, my brothers, well, my little brother had like that mild case, so he's immune now. And then my older brother never had it. It's just not something that like is happening to our family. Like genetically, we're not getting it.
Yeah.
Weird. Just we're immune to it from whatever else it is that we have. So I just feel like it's almost become unnecessary in my mind. Like I've just kind of seen it not, I don't know. And then part of me is like, chickenpox is such a normal thing for kids. If like my child got sick with chickenpox, it'd kind of just be like, okay, well now you have immunity because your body knows what this is and it fought it off now. So like, is the vaccine necessary? I don't know. Like, I just am kind of like, if I give the vaccine to them, will they get chickenpox worse?
I don't think so, because it basically, like, I don't know, when I had chickenpox, if you had it once, you're like done with it.
Yeah.
And then, but like Abby had the shot, so I think she's just like immune to it. Like, or you get it and you might get like a bump or something, like very like almost cold like symptoms, I think. So again, like I'm not a doctor, so I don't really know. And that's also just like, even like to research that stuff, I don't understand it. So, I don't know if I trust myself even to like make that choice, but it depends on the day. because sometimes I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
I know everything.
I know. So like, I know I'm definitely going to be doing some research
It's
myself.
hard.
I'll just look
Yeah.
it all up, kind of read through, see what's there. Cause I know I have a lot of friends who have that opinion of like, well, it's been eradicated. So why would I
Yeah.
get that vaccine? But then part of me is also like, okay, yes, it's been eradicated, but it has been because people are still being
Get it.
vaccinated and it's not able to like make its way back. So that's also part of the problem is like people have like a one-sided version of a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm very cautious.
I think as long as you're researching both sides
Mm-hmm.
and like medically the sides of it, then I think you're fine. Like, but if you
Yeah.
are leaning towards one side, you're gonna find all that information that keeps you on that one side, right?
The only thing I think I would be a little bit more weary of would be like a vaccine for something I've never heard of in my life.
Mm,
Like if
yeah.
there was like a name of a vaccine and I'd be like, what? Like, is that, do you know what I mean? Like, what is that? Like, if I was very like, what?
No. The nurses like have been like super great and like they explain everything to you. Like, and
Yeah.
as long as you're asking those questions to them too, like they're pretty open and honest. Like,
Yeah. So I guess we'll see because I'll be like in the thick of it here. So into the thick of it. I'll do an update. I'll be like, hey everyone, these are the vaccines I ended up getting.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
And anything related to your kids is honestly hard. Like, can you make the right decision? Can you make the wrong decision? You don't know until later in life, right? Like,
Yeah.
and then that's something in the long term, like for me, like when I went to college for early childhood, all my vaccines had to be updated for me to go to school. So I had to. So if my parents didn't vaccinate me as a child, I would have had to get them eventually because that's the field I wanted to be in.
Mm-hmm.
So like long term, but then that would have been my choice too later.
But those were all the ones that you should have had as a child.
Yes.
Yeesh.
Yeah. So depending on what kind of field you go into, you do have to get those as well. So
there's a deeper question there that we won't get into.
We won't get into that.
No, but I will just mention it for anyone kind of wondering. My mind just went to like vaccinating or not vaccinating based on religious belief. So when schools mandate things like that, I wonder if that just is like a letter to the board because that's valid. Like
I'm sure it would be something like if it was based on religion or like medical, like something like that. Then like if you're going to have a reaction worse to the vaccine, then you're not going to get it, right?
Yeah.
So I think that, it would probably be fine. And you would just like write a letter to the school or something, or your doctor would. But yeah.
Okay.
But I've never been in that situation. So
exactly. I don't know if I know I went to school with someone who couldn't get vaccines because of an allergy that she had to certain proteins. So there are so many she can't get. But I know that now they come out with like vegan versions so that it doesn't have like the same protein base because they're usually animal proteins or synthesized from animal proteins. And I know now there's like work and research being done for it to be like vegan, plant-based, which is interesting. Yeah, I just my whole thing is like how does it hold? You know, because for so long you've put this in an animal protein because technically it's going into like an animal protein.
Yeah.
So is like a plant protein going to hold up the same way or attach the same way, I guess, too.
Scientist.
Yeah. I'll find a scientist to talk to us. But okay, so that's good. Yeah. Vaccines are hard to talk about. And I know the climate around vaccines right now is yucky, so we're not going to go there. Yeah. We're not going to dive much deeper. No. So another parenting topic. Another parenting topic that came out of Instagram and our listeners is technology. So someone wrote in technology, I say limit until they are older.
Mhm.
So this is often debated, obviously, how people feel about screen time and then like how old is the kid
Mhm.
and how much screen time are they getting. So the poll 33% were like, yep, give her, screens are great. And then 67% said, no way, not till the child is older. Again, though, this is like how old is older.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah. So
Oh,
myself personally, I don't like it. I don't like screens. I think it's distracting for small kids, especially. I think they're just like developing, they're just getting to like know the world around them. And then to have this like screen that's just basically turning them into like a zombie for the rest of the day, in my opinion,
mm,
is like really not doing them any, it's doing them a big disservice because it's lighting pathways in the brain that could be or stunting them that could be developing a different way. And I think children should be outside as much as possible. I think they should be playing, using their imagination. If you're putting your child in front of a screen, there's no imagination happening there, I think. So that's just my opinion. And we didn't really grow up with screens either.
mhm.
Like, because when we were in Poland as small kids, like 0 to 4, we had a black and white cube TV that had Saturday morning cartoons for an hour, and that's it.
Mm.
So that's all we could get, like, even if we wanted it. And
Yeah,
that was like the first few years of life. So I'm
yeah,
happy for that.
yeah.
Um, and then I think probably around like 6, 7, 8, we got into screens a bit more. Like I got my Game Boy when I was 8. And then like, the computer started to be a big thing.
MSN.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I totally agree. But I'm also gonna throw in, I see the convenience and I have felt it, like giving your toddler a screen to put on to like get something done.
Mhm.
It is convenient because, and honestly, I'm guilty of it, and I hate and I feel guilty doing. I hate it so much, but
Okay,
I'm just
but
I like have to get this done. And like you asking me 50 questions every 5 seconds does not help. Because like one task with a toddler that would take me 2 minutes will take 30 minutes. And sometimes
Mhm.
I have that. I don't like hand it to her first thing in the morning. It's like, here you go. But it's like if I'm cooking dinner, like if she's not helping, because sometimes she does help. But if she's like, play with me, I'm like, I can't do three things at once. I do.
Mhm.
I every time I do it, I feel guilty.
I
I'm
don't
like,
think you should feel guilty though, because if you're monitoring how long and it is just like you're at home, you're there, you're like, okay, here, 30 minutes, I just need to do this. And then
yeah,
it's just gonna like distract her for
yeah,
30 minutes. Like otherwise you're paying for like a sitter to be there while you're home because
oh yeah.
you're right, it becomes impossible, especially like busy toddlers. They're moving, they're like mobile.
It is hard. So I get it, and I do see like it is so quiet, and like you said, they are a zombie. So I see why
Mhm.
for like parents, if they put it like and they get used to that, like oh, it's quiet, I can just do all my own things and get it all done, and they're just a zombie all day because like
Mhm.
they do not break focus.
Mm-mm.
It's just God. And then like if when I pull it away, it is like a whole other child has like a demon has come out.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
And then now, but it
I
is, yeah, it's creepy almost like
It
yeah,
is. I think it becomes problematic when the child doesn't realize that it's like, okay, for a little bit, yes, this is okay. But once you're like, we decide we're done, you're
yeah,
done. And I know like the issues that I see, it's kind of like my mom had a really good example once. She worked in a kindergarten classroom and a little boy came in. mom dropped him off and said, he focuses better if he's playing Mario Kart. So let me know if you want me to bring his games in. And my mom was like, pardon me, like focuses better on what?
Yeah.
On the Mario Kart? Because like that's not the point of being at school. So like things like that to me, that's like a major red flag. If
Yeah.
as a parent you find yourself using the words focus and better behavior, and then
Yeah.
it's in the same sentence as playing a video game or watching a movie, that's a problem.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
It is. But I'll give a good example. In
Ooh.
back in the day, my well, I have memories of baby Gates being up in the doorway of a bedroom,
Okay. Yeah.
and then the toddlers in the bedroom confined to that space with like the things that are safe in that bedroom.
Yeah. Just lock them in.
Yeah, you're just baby gated into your room for half an hour because I need to do something and I know you're safe.
I don't know,
Entertain yourself.
but they're climbers.
And again, if it's a safe room,
Yeah. I
like
feel like I don't have
our
a safe.
rooms, no, our rooms were very safe. Like we
Yeah.
had almost no
Like,
furniture in our
yeah.
rooms. We were like mattress on the floor family and just had like stuffies. I think the worst thing I could probably do is pull like a 2-foot shelf of books on myself. And then it's like, better try and climb out of these books before my mom comes in.
Yeah, now I'm in trouble.
Yeah. But definitely if you have an unsafe room, don't do that.
Yeah. And I think
And
like I don't want to say the standards of safety are higher now too, but we also have, like you said, we have a lot more stuff. Like
Mhm.
Abby's room packed full of toys now.
Mhm.
She's like, I can leave her in there for a few minutes and stuff, and I go in and check on her and stuff like that because she is at that age where I can trust her a little bit more. Like, yes, maybe there's all over the floor or something like that, but or marker all head to toe. But is that the worst thing? Probably not.
No.
So,
And then if it's, I guess you also like just, I think sometimes we forget how much control we have.
mm,
It's like you literally can get rid of Play-Doh.
oh yeah.
Right? Like it's like, okay, because I had a friend who would mush Play-Doh into her carpet. And then I would like witness her mom like and her get into like scraps about like the Play-Doh being in the carpet. So like I know that these things happen.
Yeah, carpet. So I'm good. So I'm like, I'll pick it up.
So like I guess if you're in that situation, you have like carpet and then you have Play-Doh and you're afraid, then just take the Play-Doh out of the room. And
Throw it away.
who were we talking about that one time where it was like someone had this suggestion where it was like, or maybe I just saw this online somewhere, but you have like messy play. So like markers, Play-Doh,
Yeah.
glitter, crafts, glue, whatever is only allowed at like the kitchen table.
Maybe we talked about that with Anna.
Potentially, yes. I think that's
Yeah.
what it was. Yeah. So that's what she does at home. Is she's
Yeah.
got like messy stuff is there's just a place for that.
Yeah.
And then the rest is like you've got your puzzles, you've got books, you've got stuffed animals, but like
Yeah.
the messy stuff is over here being like monitored. I really like that too, because I feel like that's kind of more my parents. It was like, we don't trust you at all. So like you don't get anything like this in your room.
I don't know why, but like I started trusting her more.
That's okay.
A little bit, just like she's so I got her like this like little table, like a kid's play table for in her room, and then I'm like, oh, like this is great for like markers and stuff, but it's in her room where I can't see, like as opposed to the kitchen table where I'm cooking and I can still see what she's doing. So I need to reevaluate like the activities that go on there, but it is like coloring or something, and like I've said before, she likes to color or paint on herself. I don't paint in there by herself, but marker, crayons, even like if they get dumped, not the world also.
But I know like now that I have a baby on the way, I have like kind of it's the same as like a birth plan. You have like the things you know that you should be doing, and then whether or not you're actually able to like stick to that.
Oh yeah, it's hard.
Right. I know.
Little eyes, and then you're like, oh, you're just so sweet and I just love you so much. Like, I'll trust you today.
Exactly.
And you
and
just like want to spoil them. It's hard.
yeah.
It is.
Well, I can see it. Like I can see it with my own mom, and I'm 30. And like my mom's thing is like no eating in her car.
Yeah.
Somehow I get away with
it. But it's okay, Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true though. Like I can, like any other person's kid, like, yep, I can follow the rules, like by the book, like perfect. My own, it's like, oh no, it's okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So, I mean, exactly. And I think that then as parents, like, I guess what's kind of the best outcome and what you should do for your child. So if in the back of your mind, you're like, hey, screen time, and I feel guilty and like I'm doing this, you also acknowledge though, and you're doing it consciously.
Yeah, I guess
that's a win.
To pass.
That's a win in itself, because you're not like blindly handing like phone or iPad every minute. It's just kind of like, okay, I need to get this done. Here's this half-hour show. I have half an hour to do whatever. This is fine. And like, I hate it, but it's fine. And like, you're consciously like aware. I think that's a way better situation to be in than to just be blindly like, okay, here's your phone. Like,
for it, here you go. Yeah. If she would ask all day. Well, she doesn't really, but randomly if she walks by it and sees it, she's like, ooh. And then I'm like, no. So you're not watching videos. I think it's all of it too. And then for us as parents, we are on our phones, so they're mimicking that too, right?
They're watching.
So I need to also be off my phone more. So it's me. Pick up that book, Sarah, that you've been half read for this last 2 months. Pick it up.
Yeah, that's been me lately, because through COVID, it was so easy to just like, okay, TV's on, it's 8 p.m., we're going to watch TV until midnight and then go to bed. Like, that is the worst, but there's nothing to do. You're in a slum, like emotionally.
Yeah.
And that was just like the best thing for you at the time. And so like now I am not watching TV before bed, because I've actually been getting better sleeps not doing that. I've finished reading a couple of the books I've been putting off. So it's just like you say, you just need to like, or how would you say that? Like
adjust, monitor? I'm not sure.
No, like model. You're modeling. You're modeling. So then like now I'm thinking, okay, if I can like get into this routine for myself, I'm going to set myself up better. But if I continue to like watch TV and not read my book and not go to bed at a decent time, then I'm going to have issues where it's like, your kid can hear you in the other room, like with the TV on. So
yeah. Technology is always going to be hard, and I think it'll just get harder as schools incorporated into more and more stuff, and they're on it more. But hopefully, maybe if they are on it at school, they are burnt out and don't want to be on it. But what it will be. So
I know like a lot of schools are adopting, like now in kindergarten classrooms. I know here locally it's been different, and they've kind of gone in the nature school, like Montessori route, which is nice.
Yeah.
But in Ontario, I know a lot of kindergarten classrooms are implementing having the smart board in the class, and using the smart board, showing videos, like, so they're going a little on the,
Really? Wow.
I don't love that. And I think
not in kindergarten.
No, a lot of teachers are not loving it. They're like looking at investing into iPads for learning for children. I don't think people realize like the whole iPad thing is part of the like inability to focus.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like the technology is part of that. Like your your child would probably have a little better of a chance focusing if they didn't have the technology.
Yeah, I think it like does the opposite though, like for viewing wise, because a parent sees them sitting there focusing on that, but really they're not learning anything in that time on how to sit there patiently by themselves. Like they're not
Right.
self doing that. They're just watching.
Mhm.
Like they're not like,
that's the problem. It
Yeah.
looks like it's effective.
yeah, but it's not. It's doing the
It's
opposite.
not. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not, because people just need to read about this. I'm going to find a really good article to link that's like easy to read, because these are things that come up all the time.
Yeah.
And like, especially now, because it's hard to get away from technology, and we're getting more and more into a place where it's hard to get away. Kids are getting phones earlier and earlier, as early as like 6 and 7 now. So, which I couldn't get one until I could pay for it.
Same. Yeah.
So yeah, it's just becoming a problem because it's just so easy to access. So
Yeah.
I'll link some articles just because I think it's interesting. People should really read, because yes, it looks like they're focused, but there's science behind that as to why it looks that way, but it's not
Yeah.
necessarily doing it in like the most positive way for them.
Yes.
And off of technology, the last topic, oh wait, nope, second to last, but we'll go through this one pretty quickly because I don't really have too heavy of an opinion. I don't know about you. You might. Okay.
It is.
Okay, so sharenting.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you don't know what that is,
Oh yeah.
what is it?
It's like you're sharing everything on social media about your child, like daily posts about like what you're doing, when you're doing it, like everything. You're just like oversharing.
Yeah.
I don't say oversharing. Maybe that's my opinion on it. That's my opinion. You are sharing a lot. So you're just posting to your family or your child on social media a lot.
Mm-hmm. So it's basically starting at birth. So like everybody posts, or most people, if you have social media or you're on social media, and many people do posts about like birthdays, whatever, especially with like a baby. It's exciting. Milestones. Yeah. It's almost like a memory book. Then if you have family on there, they can see it, or like distant relatives or friends, whatever. That's kind of my opinion. That's how I see it. I'll update it when it's like, hey, I really want people to see this who know me. But I don't have like daily updates, I guess.
Yeah.
So then sharenting would just be parenting through social media and sharing everything. The debate rages on. So 70% said share. And 30% said I'd rather keep it private. My issue with share is that if you're making a daily post about your life and your kids or what they're up to, are you posting when Timmy has a tantrum and taking a picture at Walmart when he's on the floor bawling? Or are you only posting
when you're making muffins together?
The positive Timmy, because social media makes everyone feel like they're not good enough. You see everyone else's positivity. You're having a bad day. Your kid's like on the loose, ready to destroy your life. And then people are like making muffins and my kids are the best.
Yeah.
That's where we forget when we see that. It's like, this is just the prettiest side.
They made muffins. They stirred and took that picture for 1 minute, and then they were off making the mess.
So I for one, I think the daily posting, sharenting kind of thing, I think it's a little too much, because it does give this like false sense to people, and then people take things to heart. They see things, they compare themselves. We can't help it. We're human.
Yeah.
That's what we do. It's like you see a post of Kendall Jenner in like her red carpet outfit and you're like, why don't I look like that? And then it's like, you also don't have billions of dollars to get like a butt injection from your midsection every 3 months. So like, you just don't have the money. Like, Okay, Allie, relax. That's not your life. But like, these are the things we forget because social media is so accessible. And when we follow a celebrity or we follow someone who's like got this amazing life that we look up to, we forget and we're like, why don't I have that? Or why am I not doing that? And it's like, because you are your story.
Mhm.
And like, that nothing exists beyond that. Like, you're not, no, and no one's comparing. Like, I don't even, when's the last time you've ever like seen something or someone's post on social media and like actually sat there and been like, ah, I wish my life was like that. Like, it doesn't happen very often.
But I think it's not even like you're thinking of it, but like while you're like living life, like while you're like parenting and stuff, you're like unconsciously like comparing that almost.
Mhm.
I think that like you're not like thinking of it in that moment, like, oh, I wish I could do that. But
Mhm.
maybe back and you're making muffins with your kid who's screaming, like, I'm not stirring it. Let me crack the egg. And then you drop it on the floor. Right? Like that's happening. And you're like, oh, why can't you like just make these muffins with me? And like that's like maybe what you're thinking of, like comparing.
But at the same time, would you not want to take a picture of that egg on the floor and be like, this is my life?
Yes. I love those posts, like honestly, on TikTok, like those like that, like, this is my real life. Like
Yeah.
here's my child screaming. Like
I think they're hilarious.
oh, this makes me feel better and like normal.
Mhm.
Right. But and I want to say I hope like people are getting towards that, like that they're seeing these like posts and like they're realizing they're not all real and like there is a bigger story to like just
Mhm.
making things together, like what else may have happened. But I guess that's to each his own what they
Yeah.
think.
I think, like, to me, I love looking at social media as like, this is funny. Because it's like, I know for myself, how many times did I like have to take a picture to get a picture that I wanted?
Oh
Or
yeah.
then when I see someone's like perfect posed, like
Yeah.
they're like on a log in front of like the mountains behind them, and they're all like gorgeous, and they've got their like toddlers like smiling. It's like, show me your camera roll. I want to see the 60 photos that it took to take that. I want to see the screaming that happened in order to get your toddlers to sit there nicely. I want to know what you told them you would buy them.
Yeah. You ain't buying anything.
Yeah. Like, it'll be like, you're going to get ice cream if you sit nice for this picture.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, okay. So, like, I'm on to you. And I think it's hilarious. Like, I love it. I just think social media is such, like, a
Yeah.
funny, like, way to just look at life. And it's like, life is not that serious. And, like,
Yeah.
no one's looking at your pictures about to recruit you for, like, the next top model fam jam. Okay. Like, that's just not happening. So,
But I see like people posting their kids and like seeing them grow, like even like friends
yeah.
I've had that I don't even like talk to anymore, and like they post their families or whatever. I still do like seeing them, like so I do
Yes.
like that. But like when they're posting, I'm not gonna lie, every day I might unfollow you. I'm
Yeah,
not.
the everyday is a
Yeah.
little off-putting for me. I'd say my favorite are the people who like post like one thing, like they'll post like oh, look, our baby was born. Here's
Yeah.
Jimmy. He's a week old. He's so great.
Yeah.
And then they don't post again until like Jimmy's third birthday, and you're like, is that the same kid? Like,
They're never on social media. It's like, why are you
ever?
even here? That's
Why? Like, why'd you come back? Why'd you come back? Like,
yeah.
but I know a lot of people use it as like a memory book. They like to have like,
Share way.
yeah, I love it too. I love seeing like monthly milestones because that stuff's interesting to me.
Yeah.
I think that like children month to month change so much. So it's
Yeah.
like that first year, I love seeing it. Like you day one and then comparing it to like month 6, and you're like, that's not the same baby. Like they're completely different.
Cute.
Yeah. So Yeah, I think it's interesting, but yeah, the day to day, like my life is perfect, especially when when it comes off as having that tone. It's really
Yes.
it's really off putting too,
Yeah.
because it's kind of like, I'm glad you're happy. I'm glad you're like, living such a happy life. Like whatever, to each their own. At the same time, like,
Honestly, when I see that, I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, are you okay?
well,
Like,
yeah, I guess it's kind of like they just want extra support.
yeah.
Maybe that is the thing. Like a lot of people will build their support systems online.
Yeah, that's true.
So if that's the case, right, maybe that daily post is like, okay, this is my support system, and I just need to know I'm on the right track. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Everyone
that's a heavy one.
differently, I guess. So
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I definitely like. I mean, do your thing, boo. But I'm not gonna do that. Like, I think I would love to just post when everything goes wrong. I think
I want
that'd be like the most fun.
to, it is fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And it
that's me.
gives people a laugh.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
And no one cares. No one's gonna look at that and be like, "Wow, you're a bad parent."
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not. There's egg on my floor. Like, I cleaned it up. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like,
Anyways,
yeah. Anyway, next.
homeschooling is our last topic.
Yeah,
I guess homeschooling versus mainstream school.
yeah, yeah.
At this,
Nine.
honestly, COVID, I think, changed everything and changed a lot of people's outlooks on school. I don't know. I don't know what I think I would just do like the regular school system for me,
Mm-hmm.
but
It doubles as childcare.
it does. And honestly, if you can homeschool, I think it's a lot of work. And if you have the patience and time and dedication to do that and like understanding of the time that it takes
Mm-hmm.
and what it all entails, good for you if you can do that. But there's no wrong. And I guess trying both options too,
Mm-hmm.
if it's for you. But for me personally, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I like the idea of homeschooling. Um, I don't know that I could do it myself. Plus, I went to regular school and I remember and I just see the benefits of
Yeah.
going off to school.
Yeah.
But our poll agrees 91% would send their kid back to school, 9% would choose homeschooling. And I guess this has a lot to do with just if you're able to homeschool.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. A lot of people are just unable to do it. Like they might want to, but they just can't.
mm-hmm.
That's all I have on that one.
I know I don't really have much of an opinion on that. Like I think it's great.
Yeah, your way
Yeah.
of getting education and get
Mm-hmm.
met that way, then good for you.
Well, and the thing too is like children who are like going into kindergarten, grade 1, maybe grade 2, they aren't necessarily like there yet when it comes to making the decision like, oh, I'd rather go to school or I'd rather be homeschooled. So if you're homeschooling like young, let's say, and then like your kid turns an age all of a sudden where like they have met friends through extracurriculars that they would like to see outside of school, or they're like, oh, but they go to school, like I'd like to go to school.
Yeah.
Then you kind of get into that, like the next question would then be, if you started homeschooling, would you be okay transitioning into school,
Mhm.
or vice versa if your child requested otherwise?
Not doing well, or they've learned, especially like through all of this homeschooling that they've had to do, some have learned that they do better at home.
Mm-hmm. They
So
just feel, maybe they feel more supported at home or whatever
yeah.
it might be. Yeah, so that to me is like, I think I would love to be able to like make that decision, but then it also depends on like what you're able to do. So as a parent, if there's no way you can homeschool, then it's kind of like, okay, well, I'm either finding someone who can do the homeschooling with my child
And paying them.
and paying them, or they're staying in school. So I think it could get tough.
But I think being open and like listening to their thoughts on it and stuff and their reasonings, if they are
Mhm.
old enough to make choices.
I think also if schools, I don't know if schools do this now, but if there was like a future where schools were a little more flexible and maybe for certain subjects, it was like, yeah, you can have this like booklet. This is the curriculum. This is the booklet, and you can self-learn the booklet, bring it back. We'll grade you on it. You'll have to do a test or whatever it was. Like,
But you don't be in the classroom kind of thing. Okay.
yeah. So say you're like in the classroom for half the day, and then you go home for half the day, and you have this like self-taught or self-guided learning. There was a middle school that did that, like in Hamilton near where I live, and it was all at your own pace, self-taught. So you could run through, it was a middle school and a high school. You could run through like your booklets. That's what they just called them.
Yeah.
You could be done all 4 years in 2.5,
Oh, wow.
as long as a teacher was okay with like grading you.
Wow.
So from those schools, you had like early entrance university students.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you can prove that, like, I
You're
think
competent.
that and like socially and emotionally that you can handle being in a classroom with
Oh yeah.
in a university, right? Like it is a different skill set
Mm-hmm.
too.
Well, and there's tons of really mature 16-year-olds. So
Oh yeah.
and that would be like, yeah, and that was
Yeah.
like the earliest. They were like,
But if you are sitting there and like teaching yourself all that stuff, you're pretty mature, like, and you're able to fulfill all of that. That's a
well,
huge.
you're
I
pretty
would-
disciplined too.
You what?
Like pretty disciplined,
Oh yeah, totally.
right?
Yeah, I would not have been that at 16. Not me.
Mm-mm.
No. Good on
Yeah,
you.
I don't know about me. Maybe some courses I'd be able to do on my own, like the ones that really interest me.
Yeah.
The rest, I think I would need guidance because, like
Yeah.
math, I would.
Yeah. No thanks.
As if I want to do math by myself.
Yeah, I want to just hang out in my spare time and do math.
I don't even understand half of it.
Yeah, no thank you.
No. But yeah, so I think you're right though with how things are or have been going. I think homeschooling, a lot of that will change.
Yeah.
It might become like increasingly more popular to homeschool or have some sort of like combo program of like online learning, like you're in the school but you're at home.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's gonna change over the next few years for sure. And then maybe even like people try it and then they don't like it and then come back or vice versa or whatever. Who knows?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
If there are any topics that you would like us to talk about, if there's something that we mentioned in this episode that you're interested in hearing a little bit more about, or you'd like us to find someone to kind of talk to about it, or if you want to talk to us about it on an episode.
We don't know any scientists.
If you know a scientist, no.
Yeah.
But our social media and email address and phone number, it's all linked in the description. So if you'd like to get a hold of us after listening to this and you have some other topics or information or whatever it might be, some insight, maybe you lean more one way than the other in one of the topics we talked about, love to hear from you. And other than that, I hope it's not raining now when you're listening to this and you're having a better day than we are in this current moment. We hope future you is not in a rainstorm.
Listen to this on like Wednesday.
Yeah. If it's Tuesday today, I'm sorry that you didn't get the memo to listen tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's too late. You'll have to just re-listen. But yeah, everybody, we hope you have a wonderful day and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.